We talking football, X's and O's. Let's go.
Welcome back to Bold Predictions Podcast, coming at you with NFL Week 5 action. I'm that dude with the beard, and he's Mr. KC from the 813. And Mr. KC, we saw the culmination of Week 4 of the NFL here. We see how things are shaking out. Um, what do you got looking forward to going on with Week 5 here? Anything on your mind in
Ooh,
particular?
that dude with the beard. I think it's going to be an exciting week five. We've seen a lot of action in week four. We got a lot of picks right. It was an interesting week.
Yeah.
Uh, Definitely some surprises that went down and have already shooken up everybody for the season. So I'm excited to look through these week five picks and should be looking a little different going forward this week, I believe.
I would think so because we're a little bit quarter of the way through, I would say, and we kind of get to see what these teams are really going to end up being about. We're kind of seeing how things shake. And granted, it is a long season. There's still, I would say, maybe a 3 game window that teams have to really turn things around if they're down in the dumps. We'll talk more about that. But we got Thursday night action coming up tomorrow here, October 6th. We got the Indianapolis Colts versus the Denver Broncos. And as tradition, I'm going to defer to you on this one going forward here and see what you think about this game, Mr. Casey.
Well, that dude with the beard, I'm excited for this one. This matchup, I'm actually going to go with the Colts. This is kind of an upset alert. Vegas has the Broncos as a favorite, as they should be at home on a Thursday night game. Short weeks always favor the home team. But the Colts are an underrated team this year. They show they rise up to talent. And I think they're going to put a real hurting on Russell Wilson, and he's already a little banged up. So look for the Colts to win this game. That dude with the beard, what's happening on Thursday night? Who you going with?
Well, you've already know I'm riding with the Colts here. I've picked them a few different times this season here. Granted, like I said, Matt Ryan is still playing quarterback. We'll see what happens with that situation, but they seem to be able to put together drives every now and then. I think they can put together enough to beat this Broncos team. Denver really hasn't solidified itself as a contender in my eyes, and probably in the eyes of many analysts around the NFL. Because really, when you look at the performances, offense and defense, is really nothing to marvel at. I mean, they got a couple of wins, which kudos to you guys. I mean, but the buck stops here pretty much. I'm with you. I believe the Colts win this game, kind of help right the wrongs going on with their team. They're going to be missing Taylor, which is going to be a big hit, but I think Matt Ryan has enough whatever we want to call it moxie to get it done against these Broncos. I think it's Colts all the way for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you. Absolutely.
Let's see here. So the next game we have Sunday, October 9th here. We have the NFL in London action here, 8:30 a.m. We got the New York Giants, who are back, by the way, versus the Green Bay Packers, who are starting to play a little football. So, Mr. KC, I'm going to defer to you again here because I'm really interested in your take on this one. What do you think?
Well, the Packers have a real interesting matchup here. They've started coming on into the season, which is kind of a surprise. They're a better team than I thought they would be. But a wise man once told me the New York Giants are back. I'm going with the New York Giants in a London game. It's a much shorter trip, from New York City to London. I think the early game messes up Aaron Rodgers. This isn't something he cares about, being a star in Europe or nothing like that. And Daniel Jones is going to show out. Give me the New York Giants in this matchup. And that dude with the beard, did we get you back on the train this week?
Oh, I've never really left you. I'm riding that thing with you. I'm going with the New York Football Giants. Saquon is back. The Giants are back. It's just a good feeling going on in New York. I know the fans are happy because they're looking real feasible, and then with that division, it kind of could open up for the Giants. They're kind of a dark horse playoff team right now, in my opinion. Here, as things keep matriculating down, the season here down the road, we're going to really see. But like you said, think Daniel Jones is really coming into his own here. Um, He's going to prove he's a stud-esque kind of quarterback here, still in transition, but he's going to be one of those guys that maybe we could talk about when we consider like the second half of the young quarterbacks, I would say here, like under
Oh,
Jalen
definitely.
and, somewhere down the road there. Yeah. But I like what the Giants are doing. Obviously, I like what the Giants are doing. So I'm going with the New
Right.
York football Giants without a question here. Next game we got here, the first game, noon kickoff. We have the Blitzburg lock your door AFC North champion Steelers, who are currently sitting at 1-3, which we'll talk about here in a moment because I still believe in Mike Tomlin, going against kind of a reality checked Buffalo Bills team, I would say. And if you don't mind, I would like to take the lead on this one because
Please.
looking at this matchup, I really think it's feasible for Pittsburgh to win this game. And it's not really a slight against Buffalo and me always thinking Buffalo can lose every game. I mean, it's the NFL. You can lose any game. But there's something about this Steelers team, especially coming in this week, because my boy finally got the nod. I told you week one we'd get here. And
Yeah.
now we're here. And I believe KP, he's about to really show, and it's gonna have to be against Buffalo what he can do. I think he's gonna light it up a bit. I think Buffalo's defense isn't the nasty defense that everybody try to claim, make the claims that they're just, so dominant, so physical, so this, so that. That's Pittsburgh's brand of football. So I mean, I would love to see what I think is going to happen, which will be a big game for Pickett. I think he goes for almost 300 yards passing, and I think he gets a couple touchdowns. I think the run game is really going to solidify the win for them, and I just think that it might even be a close one. But I'm going with the Steelers. I got to. My gut's telling me.
Ooh, that's a bold one there. That's a bold one. I think Kenny Pickett's going to get an unfair shot with the Buffalo Bills as opponent number one.
Mm.
That's not really the team you want to introduce your young quarterback to, in my opinion. I think I would have waited maybe another week. Uh, I don't think it kills your team one way or the other. I think they're going to struggle to see 500 in the Pittsburgh area. So I'm going to go with the Vegas favorites here by a mile, and that is the Buffalo Bills. And it's like finding out you got to fight Mike Tyson in your first professional fight. It's just not exactly the guy you want to go up against, in my opinion.
Some of the greatest are forged in the fire, and this could be his moment. I'm interested to see, like you said, Vegas got them as the runaway favorite. I'm almost ready to put some money on these Steelers this week because I believe this is the upset of the week. If you have to call it an upset, I'm besides me and everybody else in Pittsburgh. I, it looks like a win to us. So shout out to y'all, Pittsburgh. Y'all know what time it is. I'm still rocking with y'all. Moving
As,
on to the next.
as hard as someone can. Yeah.
Oh, moving on,
Ooh,
because I
Bills.
like us no, like I was saying earlier, just to touch on this point, we'll move on. I believe in Mike Tomlin. Like I said, he doesn't go under 500. He only wins, and like I said, it's a long season. Like I said, they got a 3 game window. If they win the next three
Yeah.
games, they're 4-3.
Right. Yeah,
So
it would turn their season around.
easily turn their season around. And like I said, if the Ravens, well, we'll get to them too. The North is open. I'll just put it that way as of right now. So let's see. Next on the docket here, we have the Los Angeles Chargers at the Cleveland Browns. And I'm gonna go ahead and defer to you. This I see the look in your eyes. I'm gonna go ahead and let you have this one. What do you think, Mr. KC?
Well, the Chargers pulled off their win last week that they should have won, and neither one of us picked them for it. And I believe they have the chance to do the same this week. But
Mm-hmm.
that Browns defense and that run game is a legitimate threat to any team. And what
Mm-hmm.
the Chargers don't need is a team that can come in and run down their throats all Sunday
Exactly.
long. And that's exactly what the Browns will do here. Jacoby has been better than expected. I didn't
Better
think he was
than
going to be
expected.
that good. And he's done good enough that when Watson comes in, they're going to compete for the AFC North. And in this game, give me the Browns. I think they'll still beat up on Herbert too. and there'll be a real test for Herbert to see if he can get past that kind of quality of a team. That dude with the beard, who are you going with on this week?
I'm honestly right there with you. I picked the Browns for this game for a couple of the same reasons you had. I'm thinking about that defensive line. I know the Chargers have a quote unquote premier defensive line, but there's just something about this scrappy Cleveland team that next game we have is the Chicago Bears at the Minnesota Vikings. I'll defer to you to this one on this because I'm pretty sure everybody knows where I'm going with this one. But let
Yeah,
me
I
see
got a
what you got.
feeling I know where you're going, and I'm going in the exact opposite direction. And I'm going with the Vikings there. I believe the
Mm.
Vikings are an underrated team. They showed up a lot of fight. This isn't a prime time game, which is where Kirk Cousins really excels. So give me the Vikings, and let's hear this take do with the beard. Who are you picking this week?
Honestly, I'm surprised that you didn't think that I was going to pick the Minnesota Vikings.
No, I thought you were going the Bears. I thought it
I,
was the
I,
Bears.
I am rolling with the Bears, but I told you guys, and I'm gonna still tell you guys, the Vikings are winning the North. They have to win this game. So in my mind, it's a no-brainer. Like you said, for all well, in addition to the reasons you said, it's a better team. They're better equipped for the situation. Because, like I said, this is Kirk Cousins' time. This is unprime time moment. He might throw for 400 yards. You know what I
Right,
mean? He might go crazy.
right.
So we'll see. But I got the Vikings though. Like I said, they're the uncrowned champions of the North right now, but they are well on their way here. They need this game to keep ahead of Green Bay here. Now that they've got a couple of, this will give them what, maybe a 2 game lead over Green Bay
Yeah, and they
if
need
they
the
win
little
this.
comfort zone.
You know what I'm saying? You got to have that cushion because if the Packers are coming, if they're really coming, you got to make sure that you keep stay on the level because if not, lose your spot real
Yeah,
quick. I do love the
absolutely.
Bears though; they're still my guys, but it's the Vikings. I don't think the Bears win this game. I think it's even almost a close one. I think maybe a 10-point win for the Vikings.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. I thought you were going to go with the Bears. That's what you get for assumptions, folks.
Well, no, usually I do love them Bears, but I got to go with the people poke. I pick the championship, pick
Right.
pick the championship to win their division. Next game we have here, we have the Detroit Lions at the New England Patriots. And I know this might this might be an underwhelming half-sided coin game for you, but I'm interested to hear your take. What do you got for us, Mr. KC, on that one?
I don't know what I'm doing here. I really don't know what I'm doing anymore. Oh, give me the Lions over the Patriots. I don't know why. Like, I should have got away from them last week, and Seattle pulled off a win somehow, and it
Gino.
was it was the exact reason why I should have got rid of the Lions picks all season. And here I am messing up my streak because I keep picking teams like the Lions. But I'm gonna double down and I guess eventually get paid if you just keep doubling down, right? They gotta win one of these games. So give me the Detroit Lions,
Oh
and hopefully I break this curse for the Lions. I don't know what to tell you. That dude with the beard, talk some sense into folks and give an accurate prediction.
Oh well, I'm going New England with this one here. And kind of for the reason you just said, like how many times I got to keep picking them before they muster up a win. I mean, come on, Bill. Like I'm riding with y'all, Boston. Stand up. Like are y'all gonna keep making me look crazy out here? I picked you guys to win the division. Yeah, if I mentioned a 3 game window. It's got to start now, you guys. Bill, if you
Yeah,
if somehow you see this, if any Mac, it has to start now. I know you got hurt, you hobbled, and all that. It has to start now, because if not,
yeah.
you will miss your shot, and you'll mess around and let the Dolphins win the division, and we can't have that. We will not have
This what I don't know if it's gonna happen anymore. It's a tough one.
it is, but I'm going New England all the way on this one. They need this win to stay relevant in their division for sure. Um, Next game we have Ball and Geno Smith and, and the Seattle Seahawks against the New Orleans Saints.
And if you would have let me make this pick preseason, I would have went with the Saints. But I'm going Seahawks here. Oh, Geno Smith, he's not playing around. He's not satisfied with being the 35th best quarterback in the league. He
Mm,
wants to be in that top 25, and he might actually be there right now. He's
might
playing some
actually.
ball. Give me the Seahawks. That dude with the beard. Who you going with?
I'm actually riding with Seattle on this one too. I told you beginning of the season, Pete Carroll's kind of I was like, look, I'll put anybody back here and we'll get this thing rolling. Trust and believe in. And like Gino said, he said they wrote him off, but he didn't write back. So
Man, not
we're
a
seeing,
not a
we're seeing the fruits of that here. He's getting the job done for him, and you know me, I like a guy who can get the job done. There's really nothing to argue about. There's nothing to refute. If the guy's getting you wins, yeah, he could get them better, but a win's a win. I'm going with the
uh,
Seahawks. This will push them to 3-2, and to really give them, kind of some footing in that division here.
yeah, and it's a surprising one, especially in that division. Like, phew,
The way
that
it's
should be a
shaking,
good start for the Hawks.
yes, man. So next game we have here another nooner. Your beloved Miami Dolphins against the New York Jets. And
Oh, this is a tough one for me too. Oof. Oh man. If Tua was there, I'd feel so much more comfortable picking the Dolphins.
mhm,
Teddy Bridgewater makes me super nervous, and I'm not sure he's better than Zach Wilson. Um, I'm going to go with a better overall team with the Dolphins here, but this one without Tua, they needed a Jets kind of week. They didn't need a strong opponent, and it should be a good test for them to see if they can still put together some good football without Tua, or if Tua is really that big of a difference maker. Just that dude with the beard. Who are you going with it this week?
I'm going with New York, baby. I'm going with New York football. We're going with the Jets. Zach Wilson is the better quarterback at this point. I'm sure about it. There's no conversation to be had. We're talking about a guy who's been getting forced in the fire, a guy who's been willing his team to a 2-2 record right now. I think this is the kind of game that the Jets need to win, not only for themselves to prove to themselves that they can compete with top tier talent in the league, but to show the
Right.
league like, hey, you're coming to see us. It's not going to be an easy win. Like,
Yeah.
everybody writes the Jets off as much as we write off Houston, or as much as we used to write off Detroit. They need this win, and I think they're going
Yeah.
to get it. I think this is the real upset of the week here. I think the Jets not dismantle the Dolphins, but I think they're going to get off. We'll see the defense too high shell to keep all the speed in front of them, and like I said, that's even if Teddy B is going to be on his game. Because I mean, if he's on his game, it'll be a competition. It'll be a feasible game. But I still think the Jets take this one. I just think it's too much of a distraction. What's going on with Tua? I think everybody's mind is on him and not actually on the week. And you want to talk about the perfect time for a Jets game? I believe this is the perfect time for the Jets to play the Dolphins because, like you said, you
Yeah.
might not beat them with Tua and everything else running full go. So, also pressure to a man. If you got to hang it up, I would suggest hang it up, man. Your health and your life is always more important than a sport. But you're your own man. It's up to you. It's up to your family. But best wishes to you. All that jazz for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. You know, he's already got that life changing money. I would definitely, have some deep conversations at least, and I hope he's all right and comes back healthy. Absolutely,
For
because you
sure.
never like to see that kind of stuff in football.
Yeah, never want to see a guy go down. Not like that, especially. Next game we have here are the Atlanta Falcons at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I'm gonna take the lead on this one. And I have washed my hands of the Atlanta Falcons. I am going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Brady is gonna carve up this defense like he did in the Super Bowl. Buccaneers back on track. What do you got for us, Mr. Casey, on that?
Yeah, I think Tampa Bay's got a lot of distractions at their mind, but this is a one-sided match. The the Tampa Bay defense alone is good enough to stop the Falcons. Uh, it'd be interesting to see how Tom Brady plays with everything he's got going on, but
Right.
I'm still going to go with Tampa. It'll be a closer game than what it should be. I'd bet the under and probably watch that spread because the Falcons, it'll probably be like a 3 point game for no reason.
Could be. Could be very well. Um, like I said, it depends on how that offense shakes. I think that offense will look better since they got all their pieces back and they're kind of getting them into motion. I mean, granted, a lot of the points they scored against the Chiefs last week is what we all know is garbage time points. I mean, it really didn't matter. Once the game was 28-10, it was really over in most of our
Right,
minds. I think most of everybody who was watching the game knew that. There was never a point where it was like, okay, this offense isn't explosive enough for us to really like, yeah, they're going to come back and take it. But the thing about Tom Brady, if he can get them rolling early this week, you know, you know the story. The rest is history. So we'll
right.
see what happens, but I think we're both obviously going Tampa Bay on this one.
Yeah.
Next, we have the Tennessee Titans against the Washington Commanders, which is an interesting game to me here because I think both of these teams are bottom tier fighting to prove that they're still competitors. Um, I actually have the Commanders winning this game. um, I think this is just another game that Tennessee fumbles and looks at itself in the mirror and like, man, what are we doing here? I mean, I don't know how many games it's going to take for them to realize that Tannehill's not it, but I'm not the GM over in Tennessee. Because if I was, we'd have another guy 4 years ago. So
Yeah.
we'll we'll see what happens. But I'm going with the Commanders. Jonathan Allen, all the folks on that defense and everything. I'm going with them for sure.
Yeah, and the Commanders are an underrated team in my opinion. They're a lot scrappier and they'll beat some teams for sure. But
Hmm.
I'm going to go with the Tennessee Titans here. This is one of those games they stack under their win column and make it look like their season was better than it actually was. Um,
Little
they
pad
do need
game.
to move on. They'll probably struggle to get to 500, but I think this is one of those games they pull off a win to make the Titans look better and make them compete in that weak AFC South. But this is an ugly game, and I'm surprised if it gets a lot of views at all.
Yeah, this is going to be a gross one, but we're going to see. I'm going to do my best to tune in, at least catch some of it. Of course, just to see the way things are shaking because I just had so many better expectations for Tennessee. You would think
Yeah.
that they would be amongst the top tier of teams right now. People were considered maybe 3-1 at the worst. So next game we got here, afternoon game, first available. The San Francisco 49ers at the Carolina Panthers. And I've
Ooh.
struggled with this one, so I'm going to go ahead and let you go first, Mr. KC, and you can tell me what you think about this one.
Well, but if anybody watched the preseason picks, they would know I was pretty heavy on the Panthers. This is the easy game for the 49ers. They come out and win and demolish the Panthers. Baker Mayfield is worse than people said he was, and that was a pretty low bar. And it was surprised he couldn't clear at least that. The Niners have a solid team. They got a solid veteran quarterback with Jimmy G. This is one of those games they stack in the win column and move on and try to compete in that NFC West. So I would go with the 49ers here personally. That dude with the beard, are you getting on this 49ers train?
Yeah, man, go ahead and slide on over because I've I've what they say, I stuck my neck out for Carolina so many times, and I can I can feel the nicks. Um, they played such a scrappy game last week. I don't know if anybody got to see it. A lot of fighting going on, a lot of bench clearing. It was a really gully game, and as much as I needed the Panthers to win, they just couldn't do it. They just could not pull it out, and I think that's going to be the story of their season. Because
Yeah.
coming in, you would think that Baker would give them a lift, thinking he got a chip on his shoulder. He's going to come and ball. But I mean, pick after pick after pick. I mean, it just seems like he's almost working for the defense. So I'm
Yeah, right.
I'm going with Debo, Garoppolo, and the other O we can throw in there on that. It's easy when it'll fuck around. I mean, excuse me, folks, family show. It'll mess around. Be similar to what we saw Sunday night, maybe a 40-point performance, if not worse. Because that run game is phenomenal. I think Debo explodes on them and goes crazy for one. So we'll see what Carolina does, but I think it's a runaway for San Fran.
Yeah, I do too. Pretty easily.
Now, the next game we have on the docket here, which should be a fireworks match here. I called it the Battle of the Birds. We got I almost dared to say my Philadelphia Eagles, because I've been riding with these boys, fly Eagles
All
fly,
year.
all year. Versus the Arizona Cardinals, who you've been kind of high on recently.
Yeah,
Not too, yeah.
yeah.
So what do you? I concede. What do you got on that one? What do you think?
Well, this is going to upset a lot of people. And I think the Cardinals pull it off somehow. I don't know how. I don't have an excuse. I think Jalen Hurts is probably even the better quarterback. I
I
have
think
no
he
reason
is
to pick the Cardinals besides I've been high on them. And eventually the Eagles got to lose a game, right? So
for
if
sure.
you start picking against them, eventually I'll be right one of these weeks. Uh, I'm not. This isn't a game I'd put money on personally.
Right.
Cardinals pick here, but I think this is going to be one of those funky, upsetty kind of games where the Cardinals win by 2 points or something.
That'll be rough if that was to happen. But I'm gonna go ahead and hit you with these smelling salts and let you know that these Eagles are about to fly over these cars. Because I always used to use reference like, what's a bird to a lion or whatever like that. But what's a cardinal to an eagle?
Right.
Sky. This thing is gone. It's over. Better receivers as of the moment because we still know DeAndre. Or no, is this week?
Yeah.
No, he'll be at week 7. So still no DeAndre. The Eagles just absolutely terrifying on defense. Almost they're rolling on defense. The offense is okay. It's borderline. I wouldn't say sensational, but it's borderline top five esque. It looks good. It's not pretty, but it looks good. I mean, golly,
Yeah.
they're hanging them up. So I mean, I'm gonna have to go with the Eagles. I mean, Jalen, the boy, oh, what was I was about to call him Robinson, Brown that they traded for.
Right.
Everybody. I mean, it's just I don't even think it's gonna be close. I think it's almost gonna be a blowout, honestly.
It could be too.
We shall very see, but the way those Eagles are playing, everybody does need to lose one at least. I just don't think this is the week. I think they moved to 5-0. Next game we got here. Whew, this might be the most underrated slobber knocker of the week. We have the Rush Cowboys. And you heard me right, the Rush Cowboys. The Cooperstown, Rushington Cowboys against the Los Angeles Rams.
Oof. What a game. What a game. What a game. And I'm gonna ride with them boys. I don't know what it is this year.
I'm telling you.
They got rid of Dak, and all of a sudden they're a winning football team. They can't be stopped. The defense is elite. The offense is good enough to win games. And you gotta be a little worried for Dak Prescott's job coming
I'm
this
trying
next
to tell you.
year. You might see him on a different roster because Jerry Jones, if he can get a cheaper, better quarterback, he's not shy to do it.
You see Dak down in Miami. Huh.
Yes.
You know how
Oof.
they like to
Oof.
do. Right.
Yeah. Uh,
Oh man. Oh, but no, I'm with you. I mean, I usually ride with the Rams. I still got the Rams to win their division. But there's just something going on with these Cowboys right now. What's the phrase you've been using? It's they're intoxicating to me. I mean,
Yeah,
it's just, dude, like you said, their defense is lights out at this point. They're playing like excellent football. The offense, I'm getting real 2000 Ravens vibes from these dudes. You got a Trent Dilfer who's Trent Dilfering, getting the
right,
job done. You have a stud at running back when he wants to be. You have quality receivers who can get it done. CD Lamb's pretty good, and your
right.
defense, dude, your secondary is tearing them up. I mean, so I'm going with the boys too. I don't know what Jerry told Cooper before the first time he came in, but whatever he did and whatever he promised, Cooper's like, yeah, I need that. So he's
Right.
going to get it. And like you said, you almost feel bad for Dak, but you better do something more, because if not,
Yeah.
it's over.
Yeah.
Talk
And
about
that's
it.
football, man. You can't miss games for that reason.
Let a grown man take your job, because the only what's the best ability?
The
Availability.
right.
Yes, sir.
People forget that.
Next game we have is the Sunday night action here, which is another battle in what I feel like is shaping up to be almost the scrappiest AFC division right now. A battle in the North. We got the Bengals versus the Ravens. And if you don't mind, like I said, I always pick against the Bengals, so everybody know I'm going with Baltimore. But this is just different reasons besides my distaste for the Bengals. Lamar Jackson is not going to keep losing too many close games that he know he should have won, especially when he's on on the bag search. He's already putting up MVP esque numbers. He's going crazy. So I just think the train keeps rolling. I know Burrow and them picked up a win. They're feeling okay. They're feeling good, but Lamar, they need this win. And like I said, especially if they want to compete and to really kind of stay afloat of the North. Like I said, the North is open. Everybody's pretty much 2-2. The Steelers are 1-3, and what's what was Cleveland's record? Aren't they
I think they're
two
two
and
and two.
two? That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So the North is really wide open right now. So if you want to keep any kind of pace in this thing, Baltimore, Lamar, do me this solid and take Joe Burrow and them down to the river. I need you to do it. I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens. What about you, Mr. Casey?
With that dude with the beard, I'm joining you. Lamar Jackson is an underrated quarterback.
For
The
sure.
Baltimore Ravens are a better team than their record shows. And this is one of those games. They've played nothing but tough opponents. If you look at the schedule for the Ravens, they've had some
Yeah.
the list of teams to play. It's all playoff teams.
Right.
And with the Bengals, this is another game, the potential playoff game, and the Ravens needed to get back on track and to get that bag. And Lamar Jackson's going to show why you should have just paid him, because now you're going to have to go up to 55, $60 million a year cash,
Man,
all guaranteed type
guaranteed
money,
at least 300
guaranteed
million.
money for Jackson. And
Golly.
he's going to show you why you got to pay him. And
Right.
if not, someone else will. I guarantee you that.
Without a doubt, dude. And it would make me so sad if Baltimore would ruin everything that Ozzie did to build that team just to let arguably, if not the third best quarterback in the NFL. Like I said, I hear about Josh Allen, Herbert, and bro, you know how I feel. Like I said, bro, you none of you guys are MVPs. Lamar Jackson has
Right.
been there. He's proved himself to me far more than any of these other guys. And for you not to pay arguably the third best quarterback in the NFL of his money, and you're seeing what he's doing now, like you said, dude, 300 million guaranteed. Gotta have it. You're gonna be
Right.
looking crazy at the end of the day. Um, Next, we're moving on to the last game of the week here, which is really going to be probably just a throat ripping. We have the Las Vegas Raiders against the perennial favorites of the AFC West, the Kansas City Chiefs. Mr. KC, would you like to take the floor, sir?
Well, this is a tough decision, folks. You know, those real Las Vegas Raiders are a real scrappy team. They got a lot of big names like Devontae Adams and they
Devontae
got
Adams is
Devontae
there too.
Adams.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so you have to worry about that. But what the Chiefs don't have to worry about is the guy that's throwing the ball to Devontae Adams. And that's Senor Derek Carr, the better Carr brother.
Right.
And listen here, folks. The only people picking Derek Carr is his brother. Derek Carr is not picking Derek Carr in this matchup.
No.
Kansas City Chiefs are going to do what they love to do against the Raiders and just mollywop them. It's not going to be a close game. I'm putting money on a double digit game, which means the Chiefs have to score 9 plus. And they'll do that and they'll have that lead before the halftime. The Chiefs are not going to play around. This is Monday Night Football. Prime time Pat
Prime
is going to
time.
show out in a Kansas City crowd. Oh, he won't even be able to hear his mascara drop. Poor Derek Carr.
Mhm.
This is going to be a one-sided match as it usually is. And that dude with the beard, I'm real interested to hear your opinion on this game.
I'm right there with you. I think this is a win for the Kansas City Chiefs, pretty much for most of the reasons you stated. But my thing is the defense difference between the two teams. Our defense, I feel, is light years ahead of where Oakland is right now. Granted, they have an okay pass rush. Crosby, he can get it done. We got Jones on the other side here. I mean, they can get some pressures, but like you said, you're playing Project Pat. Like you coming in, you're playing the guy, and my only thing is I really don't care how much pressure you got because he can do whatever he needs to do. Like we've never seen the things that we're seeing at quarterback. Then unless you're watching the Kansas City Chiefs game, like
Right.
this game is so open and shut to me. I'm not as far as a big deep blowout as far as these Raiders, but I'm sure it'll be +9, like you said, double digit for sure. I just don't know how much of a throat stomping it's going to be because I'm sure they're still thinking about that victory lap that Vegas took. I'm sure it's always in the back of their mind,
Yeah.
So I'm just
It,
you're already you're playing a team that's already on a tear who knows they should be 4-0 right now. I just think that the buck keeps rolling. I don't think Kansas City loses another game for a while, and it'll be against somebody who's not Oakland or Vegas. I can guarantee that.
yeah. Yeah. I completely agree with you there. It may be to a team, but it won't be this team.
But it won't be
And
this one.
it's gonna put the Raiders further in the basement. And like you keep harping on the next 3 games, Raiders got a tough outlook on the next 3 games, I believe. And
They
this
do.
isn't how you want your season to be going. And I think for that reason they're going to try hard, but well, this is usually a one-sided match for a reason. I think
Right.
last year it was like 40 something to 20 something every game for a
Yeah.
reason,
Right.
and I expect to see a very similar score.
Right. No arguments with that. I have no rebuttal that's in a negative tone or even a negative sense of even thinking because you said nothing but the truth. Uh, until they show me otherwise, it's another scratch. What does it say? Scratch another win for Kansas City. Um,
Right.
so that's everything we have as far as this week in NFL action here, folks. You got all the picks. Well, while we're here, Mr. KC, let's go ahead and give the folks some power rankings here. Let's give them the
Yeah.
bold predictions, bold team alerts, if you will.
Well, yes, sir. Yes, sir. That dude with the beard, our famous Bold Seven. We don't like the top bottom three and that bottom 10. They're a waste of time to talk about. So you
Doesn't
need to
matter.
make a bold seven. Number one on that list is the Kansas City Chiefs. Last week, I had them ranked like number four or something like that.
You did.
They did exactly what I asked them to do and prove me that they could win, and they did it against a great defense in Tampa.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
Give me Kansas City one. We're gonna go Philadelphia Eagles number two. They're undefeated. Someone's got to knock them off before they can get moved down this list. We got to see a chink in the armor or something. And number three, I'm going Buffalo Bills. They're a solid team. Josh Allen's a monster. And then this is where it starts getting a little funky, in my opinion. but I'm going to go the Dallas Cowboys at number 4. Them
You
boys, without Dak Prescott, are showing they can play.
you
Keep
almost
an
got to.
eye on them. It's looking mean. Number 5, and I can't believe we're staying in the NFC. Give me the Minnesota Vikings. Look
Mm-hmm.
at them showing out this season. They're going to make some noise in the playoffs. And maybe we'll see them in the playoffs, the Super Bowl versus the Chiefs or something.
Maybe.
Uh, Number 6, we are going to go with the Miami Dolphins. They should be higher on the list if they had Tua. And in reality, without him, they shouldn't even be on the bold 7. But I'm gonna give them the last week of on the list just because they had such a great start to the season, and I feel bad for what happened, and I want to see them come back. And bold number 7 is the Baltimore Ravens. I
Hmm.
know there's teams with better records, but you're not going to find teams with better players or a better quarterback remaining on the list. So give me the Baltimore Ravens.
I love it.
That dude with the beard. Let's hear your
I love
bold 7. What do you got?
my number one ranked team in the NFL right now is the Philadelphia Eagles. Fly Eagles fly 4-0. There's nothing to really talk about in regards to that, in my opinion. There are quality and better teams clearly that are in the league, but they're undefeated. I have to give them the number one spot. Number two will go to the Kansas City Chiefs, who I had at number 5 last week, because, like I said, for all reason, you lost to the Colts. Yeah, you lost the game you had no business losing, and you did exactly what we talked about. You came out, you hit them in the mouth, you didn't look back. It's the best, one of the best Chiefs performances I've seen in the last few years as far as attitude. Like they
Yeah.
came out with the right attitude, and that's what I like to see. Um, the number third team that I have ranked in the NFL right now is the Minnesota Vikings. Um, for every reason that we've been talking about, they're stellar on defense. Kirk Cousins is good enough to get the job done. They're number 3 right now. Number 4, I am going with the Dallas Cowboys. Like you said in that NFC, like oh my God, they're turning it up. What else can I say? It's rush time. Um, let's see here. So I have at number 5. Hold on here. My list is freezing up. I think I still had. Yep, I still got Tampa Bay there. Just kind of like what you said. Yeah, there's teams with other records, better records even, but you got Tom Brady down here who's getting all his weapons back. The offense is going to get better. That defense is going to maintain that excellency throughout the year, and I think they're clear cut above a lot of other teams in the NFL. Number 6 right now. I had to slide them down just because of the tough out that Tampa Bay had. So I had to give them respect, give them that 5th spot. But number 6, I have the New York Football Giants. Like I said, the Giants are back. Their run game is almost unstoppable. The defense looks good. I just like what they got going on right there. I can't deny them that spot. And number 7, I will put the Buffalo Bills. I mean, they barely made it. It was a toss up between them and Green Bay for me, really, as far as that point. Because when I look at them, I almost kind of see the same team, really. Um, Nothing really whoop about. I believe there's a lot of overratedness going on both sides of the ball for both teams, and I, they give Aaron so much credit for stuff that he hasn't even done yet. It's ridiculous to me. It's like hearing about Josh Allen all over again. It's like, bro, okay, let's just give him the trophy now. You just know how it's going to
Right.
go, right? Okay, so let's do it. So, but number 7, I'll slide the Buffalo Bills there reluctantly, and that'll be it for my top 7, my bold 7.
Yeah, I would say it's a good thing you put them at 7, so folks know you didn't accidentally leave them off. You just have them that low on the list.
Right. No, I understand. Buffalo, I mean, y'all, if you got to comment. Let me know. Let me know where I'm missing in my logic. Tell me how Buffalo's better than the 6 other teams that I named, and we can have a conversation about it.
Yeah, and if
Let
you're
me
one of
know.
those 8, 9, 10 teams, tell us who if you think you should even be mentioned.
Right.
Like, should we be bringing you up, or should you even be on our list instead? Let us know.
let us know because I'm really interested to see. I want to hear your take on it because uh, this list looks pretty feasible to me on both sides, your picks and mine. I can't see an 8, 9, or a 10. I mean, unless you're arguing Pittsburgh in the future, maybe. I'm a little
Yeah,
biased on that. I'll give you a little wink, Pittsburgh. I'll give you a little biasism on that, but no, this is the top 7 for sure.
they
Uh,
might hit that bold 7 if they beat the Bills this week.
Now,
I
yeah,
tell you
now,
what.
now you go ahead and take out
Uh,
Buffalo. I'll slide you into 7 Pittsburgh. Ain't nothing for me. I'll
right.
slide you on in, Jack.
Yeah, we can tell he ain't shy.
Yeah, we'll slide you on in there. But as right now, I'm solid with those picks. Like I said, especially my top 3. I really think those are the best teams in the NFL. Really, my top 4 because Minnesota is really, like I said, they're going to win that division, dude. And I know people don't believe it now, but when it happens, dude, it's going to be a lot of Tuchsos from me and folk in
Right.
Minnesota.
Yeah,
Minnesota,
absolutely.
Minnesota,
Minnesota.
Fargo,
Right.
Minnesota. Stand up. Yeah. But anyway, that's all we had for you here as far as picks and power rankings this week, folk. And as usual, I just want to take a moment to thank y'all for continually, rocking with us, watching our videos, like leaving comments, folk who do leave comments because we reply to everything. um Everything, like how much more gracious can we be? I mean, if you guys wasn't tuning in, there'd be no point for us to record. So we appreciate you coming back here. We appreciate you appreciating our takes on the NFL and what's going on as we see as the story turns in this drama filled NFL season. Of course, we'll have more content coming at you ASAP here. We'll start to get in, even little stories about the NFL and stuff like that before we start transitioning into basketball because the season's coming up. Laker season coming up. So we'll see what's going on with that here. Mr. KC, anything you want to add on for the folks or anything you want to say here?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks, folks, for tuning in and watching our show. And like the dude with the beard said, without you guys, we wouldn't be here. We love all the support we've gotten, and we're excited to come at you every week.
Every week for sure. It's nothing more exciting than to sit down and do this for y'all. Cause like I said, if y'all enjoying it, I love doing it. I know Mr. Casey love doing it, and we're gonna keep bringing it to you. We'll bring more and more and more. We're gonna grow this thing, and we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna be bold with our predictions. We're gonna be bold with our actions, and we're gonna be bold with our fans. We have more giveaways coming up soon here, so keep your eye out on that here. Other than that, like I said, prayers to Tua and his situation. Like I said, you never want to see that for somebody here. Still waiting on my boy Trent McDuffie to come back. Prayers for him. Anybody who's got an injury in the NFL, because this is a rough league. It's a rough game. It's a rough sport. Granted, it is a game at the end of the day, but a lot of people leave it all out there to do what they love, and there's nothing but respect for that. So I appreciate them even giving us something to even come on here and talk about. So appreciation, shout out to all the athletes out there, all the players. Thank y'all for what y'all do to give us opportunities to do what we do.
Yeah, perfectly said, I think.
Yes, sir. Well, folk, that's all we got this week here. We'll see you again real soon. This has been Bold Predictions here. He's Mr. KC. I'm that dude with the beard. We're going to holler at y'all next time.
Yes, sir.
You either be bold with your predictions or don't say nothing at all. Let's talk some football.